We want to welcome in a Hall of Fame quarterback and had a tremendous career with the San Diego Chargers, Dan Fouts. Dan, welcome to the Odd Couple.
What's happening, Dan?
Well, it's good to be with you, oddballs.
Let me say this real quick, okay? Because Dan, watching you as a kid, man, Air Coryell of receivers, and I still to this day, Howard Cosell did an introduction that I still remember to this very day on Monday Night Football. You ready? The San Diego Chargers, led by Dan Fouts, have an awesome passing attack. Last time out against Seattle, look at the day he had. Over 300 yards. Fouts, of course, has the great receivers to throw to. Tight end Kellen Winslow, number 80. There's also the new man, Charlie Joyner, number 18, right there. Do you remember those days?
Right there.
Right there. Howard was the best for these millennials who never saw Howard Cosell. Yes. But, Dan, you gave so many thrills as a quarterback, man, with that team.
Well, you know what? We had great players. We had a great coaching staff. It was a real pleasure to play, and so much fun. We knew that we were on the cutting edge of what we're seeing today, but in reality, we're just trying to win that Sunday. So when people talk about, the future of the football that we're seeing today and our influence on it, we weren't thinking about that. We were just guys going out and playing.
Well, absolutely, Dan. And you led the league in passing yards 4 straight years. You averaged one year 320 yards per game,
which was a lot back then.
300 yards a game for another year. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. 320 would have led the league now.
Right.
When you watch today's game with the, you can't really touch the quarterback like you could when you played. Of course, you could get hammered. The receivers can't get hit the way they used to. Rob and I always say you can't compare the numbers, even though your numbers are comparable
really
to some
good,
of your years.
right.
But you can't compare the numbers of guys in your era to what we see today. Can you kind of explain it to the layperson, to the fan, why we say that?
Well, you just touched upon it. I mean, the protection of the quarterbacks is primary, and then on the other end is the receivers and protecting them as well. But, every era is different. You can't compare the era that we played in to the era that Johnny Unitas played in or that Otto Graham played in before that. So the game has evolved, and it's evolved to a point now where it is more exciting. It's more unpredictable because of the passing game. And I think, we're part of that, and I'm proud of that. But, we took advantage of some of the rules that were made available to us at the time, and obviously that's what's happening today as well.
So Phillip Rivers retired, announced his retirement, 17 years, 15 years as a starter. So, of course, the big debate now is all going to be about the Hall of Fame and whatnot. You're in the Hall of Fame, and I look at I don't expect you to say he shouldn't be in. I get it. I don't. But the problem I have for people who are saying he should be in the Hall of Fame like Chris. Chris thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he didn't win enough. And not only just about winning a Super Bowl, there's a couple of things here when I look at his numbers and whatnot, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong or point me the way, but Rivers is the only top 10 quarterback in passing yards and touchdowns not to make a Super Bowl. He also was never a number one, a first or second team All-Pro. And even the 5 guys who have gotten in the Hall of Fame without winning a Super Bowl, so I'm not just holding that against him because you didn't win a Super Bowl and Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, and Fran Tarkenton, but all of you guys were first-team All-Pros. Am I crazy to think that he belongs in the Hall of Very Good?
No, you're not crazy, and it's going to be 5 years before we even sit down and decide this. So a lot's going to happen in that 5 years. I mean, we just had I am a selector of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, are you? Okay.
And yesterday was the vote. Now, the vote won't be made public for a couple of weeks now, but we did sit and vote yesterday, and obviously, I don't think I'm, telling anybody they don't already know that Peyton Manning is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
He made it.
He made. Oh, what a shocker! Stop the presses. Right. Exactly.
Well, there you are. So, but it's different eras, and I went into the Hall of Fame having never even played a Super Bowl or a championship game, and I was the first player to have that distinction or that discredit, if you will.
Right.
But it was a different era. Warren Moon followed me in that category. So, Marino played in the Super Bowl. Tark did, obviously, so did Kelly. But, it's different. And each time there's a selection meeting, things are different. So, in my mind, I think at this point, the Hall of Fame should welcome Philip Rivers because of his career and what he has done. But you never know in 5 years what will change as far as the perception of what a Hall of Famer is.
Chris, I just want to follow up. I'm sorry. Eli Manning, Chris and I debate this all the time as well. I think Eli Manning
he'll make it because
is a Hall of Famer. I mean, he beat the Patriots twice, and Tom Brady beat that 18-0 Patriots team, made some iconic throws. Yes, his regular seasons weren't the greatest. Where are you on Eli Manning?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, he'll be 4 years now because he was out last year.
Right.
So, that's the beauty of the Hall of Fame. It's not easy. Okay, it's hard, and it's supposed to be hard to get into the Hall of Fame. And your numbers and your records speak for themselves. But and yet you go into that meeting with 48 selectors. There's a lot of debate. Pro and con for everybody, except Peyton Manning.
Right. Well,
you get my point, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and not because you didn't win a Super Bowl, but just because you understand it's obviously a team game. Does it bother you as a former quarterback when we put so much emphasis on rings? And a lot of times, like Rob and I, we don't judge only by rings.
No.
But, it's a factor, but it's not the only thing. But to a lot of people, it seems like that's the case. Does that bother you when people put so much emphasis on quarterbacks and how many rings they have?
No, it doesn't, because you play to win, okay? And if that's the key. That's what every player will tell you. You play the game to win the game. And, if you don't, that's life. That's the game. But the important thing is that you played to win. And I think that when you look at a lot of players, and just not the quarterback position, but you measure every career as about the character of the player and how he played and the numbers he put up or whatever. But did you play to win? Did you give it your all? And that's what a Hall of Famer really is.
Dan, great stuff. We appreciate it, and we thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Dan, thank you so much. And come on, you got to be impressed. I knew that Howard Cosell intro to Monday Night Football. That was my stuff.
It was a little odd, but what else can you expect from me?
It was.
That's right. All right, Dan, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.